Lydia Dedal, Fight Connect TV. We're here after a very successful press conference here in London ahead of Saturday night's iconic match between Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall. I'm delighted to be joined by Head of Boxing Development from Sky Sports, Adam Smith. How are we?
Yeah, it was an amazing press conference, wasn't it? And it's an unprecedented night that we're putting together with the first ever female card from top to bottom. It's just wonderful. It's a wonderful moment for the fantastic women that have come so far, have battled so hard, and yeah, I feel very proud at Sky Sports because we've been behind it for a very long time. We were in around 2012, we had Katie Taylor as a scholar, we had Savannah Marshall then, who I mentored for 4 years, and at that time Nicola Adams and Clarissa Shields, and it really started to liven up, didn't it? And then we had the decision for Katie to turn professional. And of course that original pioneer, Jane Couch, who was always nagging us to get her on, and I think maybe she was a little bit ahead of her time, what a pioneer she is and was. So yeah, it's a wonderful moment for all of us, but particularly the women that have fought so hard. Katie dressing up as a boy for the first couple of years of her boxing life, so too with Caroline, and now, you know, when Michaela Mayer says to me, oh, she didn't have any idols to look up to, and now everyone can look up to her, and Alicia and Clarissa and Savannah, it's wonderful.
I know, like, everyone today will be asking, you know, predictions on the fight, strategies, all that, you know, the different kind of elements of Saturday night. But for me, I think what I wanted to speak to you about is that impact that it's going to have on the future generation of young girls that are coming up. And it is that case of, you know, you can't be it unless you see it. So for yourself, you know, as the head of development, you know, obviously when Katie turned over and you had all these prospects turning professional, you know, was it an element of, okay, they've arrived now, or is that something that you have tried to implement in your own development in Sky Sports? You know, it is important and we have to make sure that we do get the talent in.
100%. I mean, we've been right at the ascent of women's sport at Sky, and also women on the boxing team, and fantastic women that we brought through on the team behind the scenes. But as far as in the ring goes, yes, you know, I've got 2 daughters of my own, and they want role models to look up to. They both adore Katie. Now, they're not going to be boxers, but they've just seen what she's done, and she was a flag bearer for every one of them. And I think that the likes of Terry and Chantel, and you know, Terry wasn't going to turn pro. She was a brilliant amateur, and it took Steffi Bull to sort of, you know, persuade her. And then I think at that stage, you know, there were less idols, there was less people to look up to, and now you're seeing such a success with Tasha Jonas's, you know, brilliant performances, with Katie and Amanda Serrano giving us arguably the fight of the year, and it's just fantastic for the younger generation, you know, the likes of your Ebonies and your Aprils, and obviously the 3 starry Olympians in Karis and Lauren and Caroline to have real, you know, not just goals and dreams, but real solidity and what they can aim to be. And I think this show is absolutely part of that. We didn't make it a box office show because we wanted as many eyeballs on it as possible, and I think that's really important, so that everyone can understand, on the back of the Lionesses, who have got, you know, got great momentum after the summer, you know, now it's our turn, it's the fighters' turn, and you know, there's so many great female fights out there, and so many we've seen, that I think this is only going to go from strength to strength, and it's about time.
Absolutely. Finally, before I let you go, Adam, we, as you're touching on, we saw Serena Williams obviously retire very recently. Someone who has stayed true to herself, you know, never changed, never faltered, and because of that has led a whole nation of young girls into the sport of tennis. What I've noticed with Boxer is that although you have this amazing kind of pool of young female fighters that are coming through, it's the attention to keeping them themselves. Everyone has a story, and Boxer and Sky Sports seem to be, you know, wanting to develop them individually. Is that important for you as well, that they get to tell their story?
Well, don't tell anyone, but my favourite sport is tennis, and I've looked up to, you know, Serena and Venus and what they've done. Look at Coco Gauff and Frances Tiafoe in the semi-finals of the US Open. It's just absolutely brilliant what's happened. And I think Clarissa Shields wants to transcend boxing in the same sort of way as Serena. I think Caroline Dubois wants to do it in Britain, and I think that's absolutely fantastic to see. So yeah, I think it's really important that we allow the great young women to dream, that we match them properly, that we develop them properly, and we also hopefully develop rivalries and stories, because as we've seen from the main event here and the co-main with Michaela and Alicia, although that's not as deep, this one goes for 10 years, Clarissa and Savannah. You know, there are a few of us who were around when that happened in the amateurs, and Savannah has mentioned it, more than once to me, and Clarissa, I think, wants to try and right the wrong, whatever she says up there, and however she may say that Savannah's not at her level, etc. I think she knows how good Savannah Marshall is because she shared a ring with her already. They've also sparred together, so I think it's about creating stories, and why not? There can be, real rivalries in boxing like there are for the men, and also for other sports. And I think it's really good that these things are happening, and that finally we're getting great stories to tell. Because with boxers, everyone has a tale. Everyone's come from a different background. We had the 6 women who were fighting on the stream up first at the press conference, and they all had different stories. Some who'd been long-time amateurs, some were kickboxers, 1 or 2 who came to the sport late. Ones that work for O2, all sorts. And I think that it's great that they're all. Boxing's a great leveler, and I think that anyone can do it, and the dedication and discipline and structure is fantastic. I was talking to Mick Hennessy's young daughter and how it's changed her, and I just think it's wonderful that the great girls have the ability now to earn good money and have the same chances as men. It's come way too late, but I'm so glad it's happening now, and I'll continue to push it as much as I can.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for that. I really appreciate your time. Adam Smith for Fight Connect TV. Thank you so much.